Hey, Curious Connerys. Dylan here. We just want to give you a heads up that the following program contains conversation relating to topics that may or may not include physical and sexual assault and self-harm and mistreatment of different cultures. We are in no way condoning these things. But given that Sean Connery has acted in films going back many years, they've tended to come up. To spin a phrase from Disney, many of these films include negative depictions and or mistreatment of people or cultures that were certainly wrong then and are definitely wrong now. But rather than not discuss this content, we'd like to acknowledge its harmful impact, learn from it, and create conversation for a richer future. Stay curious, folks. And now, on to our show.
Connery Curious! Zygons! Last Crusade! You Only Live Twice! And the Anderson Tapes! Murder on the Orient Express! You never know what the wheel's gonna spin next! Marty and a woman of straw! An older man in Africa! We are curious of the filmography of Sir Sean Connery.
Are we ready?
I am ready to go. Shall we do remember how to do this clap thing? It's been a while.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, that's what non-gonococcale is, the clap. From Good Man in Africa, it's the clap.
Non-gonococcale.
Yeah, he's got the clap. All right, ready?
Ready.
1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4.
There we go.
There we go.
All right.
Mario Lima.
Dylan Titus? Is that you?
It is me. It's me. It's been a little while, but for the listeners, it's been a week.
Isn't that funny how time... Yeah, like, let's pull back the curtain, shall we?
Let's dive into the
So this is my...
curtain. Dive into a curtain.
Dive into a curtain. This is my first Connery Curious as a married man.
Welcome, Mr. Mario Lima.
Mr. Mario Lima.
He's now Mr. Mario Lima.
I decided to keep my last name.
And his first name.
And my first name. And the
Mister.
Yeah.
Changed his middle name, though.
Yeah.
He took on 8 middle names.
Well, I'll tell you a little funny joke. So, Alicia's my lovely wife. Her stepfather's last name is Lopez. And so we had a joke going because her name is Dumas. And so I was like, I don't want to be Mario Dumas, because that was a thing where it's like, do you want to like have it be like, Mario Dumas Lima? And we joked around saying, oh, you could go on the other side too and just take the Lopez name. And I said, there can only be one Mario Lopez. I can't do that. I don't want to get confused with the Mario Lopez.
Yeah, you don't want to have a sexier Mario Lopez than already exists. It's just not right. The world wouldn't know how to handle it.
And it's like, imagine my life is already fucking ruined with my first name, because everyone's like, oh, where's your brother Luigi?
Did I ever make that joke with you?
I don't think so. But
I hope I never made that joke with you.
I don't know.
I definitely wouldn't have done that the first day we met. I'm pretty sure I was remarking at your Rush t-shirt.
I'm sure our professors definitely made that joke. Everyone's like, wahoo, it's a Mario, or it's all the time. But yeah, so imagine having the Mario joke, but on top of that, you're adding the frickin' Mario Lopez joke on top of that, where I'm going to get like frickin' Saved by the Bell quotes all the time. That's exhausting. My life is already exhausting.
Well, in reference to that, one of the pages we've subscribed to on social media is a film called The Other Fellow. Have you been seeing that as well?
Yeah,
it's a documentary about other people in the world named James Bond and the torture that is their lives, or the pleasantry that is their lives. Yeah, we need to watch that, and I think maybe we should do that as a bonus episode. Watch it and review it.
Yeah, why not?
It'd be a fun one.
Yeah, 'cause I've been wanting to see it. 'Cause I haven't seen it. Like, again, I've been seeing it everywhere. I'm like, oh, I wonder what that is. So, hell yeah.
It's I think $5 to rent online.
Yeah, that's
come over. We'll make a day out of it.
That's terrible to do to somebody. James Bond.
Unless your parent is so your parent is either a super fan or not even aware.
They have to be aware. They have to be.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's no other Like, it's one thing to be like, Thomas Cruise or like, I don't know. It's just too obvious of a name. It's like naming your kid Luke Skywalker.
Well, nobody's got Skywalker as a last name, but Bond is a feasible last name. Like, so imagine like Brian and Sally Bond.
Yeah,
Give birth to their son.
Or Samantha Bond, who played Moneypenny in the Pierce Brosnan film.
Exactly. Well, I bet her father's or grandfather's name was James.
Sure.
Probably wasn't.
Yeah.
There must have been a James in her family somewhere.
Yeah, it's kind of like, and for Rhode Islander listeners, local Channel 12, I think, or Channel 10, Mario Hilario.
Great name.
Where that was like that, the parents must have been fucking with him. They're like,
he wasn't as funny as I thought he was.
But
it was gonna be. Excuse me.
It's very Hilario. But like, yeah, it's very cruel. So I'm looking forward to seeing that movie. I think we should make a movie for Mario's too. I want to be in that documentary.
Well, I think Mario Lima is a great name, and I'm glad you stuck with it.
Well, thank you. If you could change your name, first and last name, what would you change it to?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't do it?
I love my first and last name. If there's one thing that both my parents did absolutely perfectly together, was name me. I like my name a lot. Some would say it's more contagious than the common cold, the Dylan Titus. That is a very common joke that a lot of people have made, and I'm totally fine with it. Because I would love to be your infectious disease.
Oh, man. Oh.
And I did not mean that to toot my own horn, but I like my name. It is one of the few things where I'm like, you got that. You like when my depression hits me hard and be like, you're such a piece of shit, Dylan. And you're like, well, your name's still Dylan Titus.
It's still pretty good. It's still pretty cool.
Pretty good. Like 10 letters. It's pretty perfect. Like,
yeah, can I do envy? Because like me with Friggin' Nerds Media, which is the, I guess, parent company. I don't know. Yeah. Parent podcast.
It's the mother of the podcast.
That in the gaming world, it's always tough for my name because like originally, because when I stream under my gamer tag that I've had for years, Tactical Panda 007, which I've had forever. But like, yeah, I always envy people who have their own name as their like screen tag or whatever, because my name is always going to be, associated with gaming. It's Mario, Super Mario for everything. So I always, if I were to change my name, I would like something very basic, like Frank or Bob or Bill, because I always envy the people who are like, they'll have those fun names like what's an example?
William December Williams.
Like something cool like that. Like something cool like a cool it's like Broadway Joe.
Broadway Joe.
Like Joe.
That's your whole name. My first name is Broadway. My last name is Joe.
Yeah, what a cool nickname. Like Slick Steve. Or
Stinkfinger Stan. You don't want to know why.
Or like Tiny Tim, but it's funny because he's he's not tiny, and
because he's got a huge dick.
Yeah, that's always fun. And he saved it. And God bless Tiny Tim. God bless everyone.
That's what all the ladies say, right?
But anyway, speaking of Christmas, what are we doing
Welcome
today?
To Connery Curious.
Connery Curious.
The podcast. Welcome to Connery Curious, folks. The podcast where Mario and I dick around for a little bit and then eventually get into the filmography of Sir Sean Connery.
Yes.
You may have gathered that from the theme song.
Hopefully. But man, yeah, it's we got a fun one for sure. I'm really excited about talking about this film because I think
this is a great one.
I think we've been kind of cranking out some good ones, man. I feel like this is a really good one. I know we were kind of concerned about like the quality of some of these films, and I thought this was fantastic.
Yeah, let's get into the business of it all. As you said, you're back from your wedding and honeymoon.
Yes.
It's been a little bit since we've gotten Connery curious with each other here.
Yes.
And now we're back in it. And today's film is 1970's The Molly Maguires. Now, short backstory behind the scenes here. We were going to have a guest for this episode. Unfortunately, circumstances, and it's just Mario and I today. We will have that guest back on for another film in the future.
Yes.
And on that subject, our list of films here is starting to become a little populated with guests that want to join us. We've got some, I'm not going to give any names yet, but we've got at least 9 guests lined up for different films, and hoping to get some more here. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah. And you could be number 10, because we'll also mention on our socials, we did post up a sort of call to arms here of like, if you guys want to join us and be a guest on the show, pick a Connery film. We'll probably have to put up a list of like what's available on like.
The best way to go about it, I'd say, is just look up Sean Connery's filmography, and then compare side to side with the episodes that we've already done, and just process of elimination. So, and if pick one that you think you could really carry a conversation on about, and send us a message, and we'll give you a consideration for a guest spot on this show.
There we go. But
Indeed.
Until then, shall we talk about the Molly Maguires?
I think we should talk about the Molly Maguires, Mario.
Shall we?
You know what? I think we should talk about the Tobey Maguires.
Tobey Maguires.
Yeah.
And the Mark Maguires.
And exactly.
And the Jerry Maguires.
Yes.
All the Maguires.
Yeah. Get them all in one. And
welcome to Maguire Curious.
Yeah, Maguiring. Inquiring about Maguiring.
Ooh, I like that one. Inquiring about.
Ooh, the Maguire Inquiry. That's better. Yeah, that sounds like an old spy film.
I like that.
That sounds like a film that Connery would be in. The Maguire Inquiry.
Yeah, it's in 1972 probably. Circa 1972.
The Tichborne Claimant.
All right, man. Let's get through. First we'll go
the
a
Molly
little,
Maguires.
Little non-spoilery. Let's get our first kind of thoughts. Then we'll dive into the plot here. So how about you start it up?
Real quick, I'm just gonna pull up the IMDb.
I also have here, and I also have the Rotten Tomatoes as well.
Awesome. Just because I'm looking. We usually go by the wiki plot, but it is quite long. So, and the storyline for the IMDb page is much shorter. Let's go with that. I'll just read that. How about that?
Perfect.
So, The Molly Maguires, 1970, directed by Martin Ritt, starring Sean Connery, Richard Harris, and Samantha Eggar. Life is rough in the coal mines of 1876 Pennsylvania. A secret group of Irish immigrant miners known as the Molly Maguires fights against the cruelty of the mining company with sabotage and murder. A detective, also an Irish immigrant, is hired to infiltrate the group and report on its members. But on which side do his sympathies lie? That's a much better synopsis. I like that.
Oh. So I have Rotten Tomatoes here. As of today, the tomato meter gives it a rocking 90%, and an audience score of 62%.
That audience is wrong.
Yeah.
The critic score is correct. You know what? I'm just going to give a quick spoiler right now. My film rating is a 9 out of 10.
We're probably on the same page there, honestly.
Yeah. Sorry to jump so far ahead, but just you said that the Rotten Tomatoes is 90 for critics score. That's correct for me.
So
This film is a 9 out of 10. This is a great film.
same here. Well, guys, thanks for listening this week. This has been
All right.
I guess we're done.
Bye.
Yeah, man, I thought this film was great, and I know we talk a lot on the show about the, I think we agree. One of our favorite films so far we covered was Man Who Would Be King, and we loved Connery and Kane. But man, I'm for Connery and Harris.
So am I.
Like,
yes.
man,
Yep.
this
is comparable to The Man Who Would Be King.
Yeah, this was insane. This was like Richard Harris. Like, I was talking about this in the friggin' nerds community because we do talk a lot of Harry Potter, and Richard Harris, who, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, the better Dumbledore.
First Dumbledore. Yeah.
The first Dumbledore and the better. But yeah, I've never thought of. We've crossed a lot of paths with a lot of Potter actors in these films. But yeah, I've never seen anything of Richard Harris other than that. So this was brilliant. I thought he was fantastic in this, and it's funny because I think I have in my notes. We see Connery in glimpses, but it feels like Harris's movie for like the first half hour to 40 minutes. I have in my notes.
Yeah, he's our entryway into the movie. He is our main character, but it's to introduce us to a bigger character.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's kind of not directly comparable, but in the way that Willard is our main character for Apocalypse Now, but it's all to get us to Kurtz. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good comparison for sure.
Yeah, Harris is our main character in this, but it's to get us to Connery.
Yeah, because I think I wrote in my notes here, the very first line Connery speaks is at 40 minutes and 26 seconds.
I have that as well.
Do you?
Yep. 40-23, that's what I have.
Oh, yeah, 40-23.
So I think we were off by 3 seconds. One of us.
We'll meet in the middle.
It's probably in the middle. Yeah, that's his first line. I didn't write his first line. Did you write his first line?
I didn't write it, but it was very quick line. I should have written it down, but
he's just talking to the priest real quick, and it's not even a consequential line. It's just
shall we go or something like that. It was like something very simple like that. But
shall we go?
Shall we go?
Shall we go?
Oh, yeah,
Molly Maguires to a mine we go.
let's jump around. We have our segments here. Since we're on the thought of him talking,
yes.
his voice really leaned into some Irish.
Yes,
and which was interesting.
He didn't really H the S all that much.
Yeah, and it was and he had that Irish twang. Do you call it a twang?
Yeah, it was a lilt.
Yeah, so like still very Connery, very young Connery, very from Russia with Love Connery.
Well, this was right before Diamonds, so he wasn't that young.
Which is hilarious because he looks so good.
He looks great in this film. That mustache suits him.
Yeah, like he looks super young. That's why I'm like, man, we always talk about, like, I know we compare Bond a lot, but man, it's like he looks so much younger in this than he did in Diamonds. Insane. And like, oh man, we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about my favorite scene later on. But yeah, he just super athletic and super like quick. And yeah, I was really pleased with his look and the way he sounded. And he seemed, we talk about this a lot, he seemed very happy to be there.
Yes, definitely.
And like,
1 second.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, just super happy to be there, and which again we talked about that in Man Who Would Be King. He was very happy to be there, and it seemed like, if this is before Diamonds, then yeah, he must be like, this is when he thought he was free. He's like, all right, I'm done with James Bond, I could do something else, and then obviously he comes back to Diamonds afterwards. But there's that like really great twinkle in his eye, and just looks happy to be there. And I want to see more of this Connery for sure.
Yes, this is a Connery that is committed to the role, clearly passionate about. This is a film about oppressed people fighting back, and that clearly resonates with him. And he's phenomenal in this. Everybody is phenomenal in this. There's not a bad actor in this.
Yeah, honestly, everyone from frickin' Art Lund playing Frasier He was great. Frank Finlay as the police captain or whatever. Like everyone was fantastic, and I wanted to spend more time with a lot of those characters. Like I feel like we got a good amount of them, but like obviously the center is Richard Harris and Connery as James and Jack. But yeah, there was no like I didn't see myself rolling my eyes at anything. Everything was just like it's great for a film that came out in 70 or 71 70.
There were a couple of things I rolled my eyes at. We'll get into them, but nothing that brought the film down as a whole.
Oh yeah, just
I mean, sort of. You know, there's things keeping it from being a 10, and we'll get into those.
Yeah,
but that doesn't stop me from really, really loving this film. This was a really damn good film.
Hell yeah. Shall we get into the plot?
Let's get into it. So,
let me pull up my Molly Maguires.
Yeah, so I guess, all right, the wiki plot is pretty long, but maybe we'll just use it as a skeleton to build around.
Sure.
Okay. The film begins in a coal mine in Pennsylvania in 1876. Coal is still dug by hand and taken out on rails in wagons pulled by ponies. Pit props are improvised with timber. Conditions are always dirty, often cramped, and generally unhealthy. Miners are shown with naked flames on their hats as their only light source.
I had a note about that. I said, your hat's on fire. I literally thought, like, I've never seen a headlamp like that, and that was like super fascinating to me. They literally have giant flames on their heads.
Yes, fire hats was a note of mine.
And I love the was very artsy. I felt where it's like I love these scenes of like them on the cart going back up to the surface, and you could everything's dark, but you still see the flames. And it's like I thought that was a really cool choice.
Spooky.
Yeah, like cool little choice of artsy there.
Well, let's get into a little bit of the behind the scenes here. James Wong Howe was the cinematographer on this film. That guy, this gentleman is the MVP of this movie. This movie is the most beautiful film we've watched thus far, visually. That opening shot goes for 2 minutes and 31 seconds as I tracked it, but I probably tracked it incorrectly. I'll have to try it again. But either way, 2.5 minutes of a shot. It goes from a shot of the sun, and then all of a sudden the camera pulls back and the building begins to creep in. And I use that phrasing intentionally because it looks as if the building itself is moving into the frame. You know? Rather than the camera is moving back to reveal a building, it looks like the building is moving forward to reveal itself to the camera. It's phenomenally shot. And it just tracks this massive mill and then all the way to the top of it and then all the way back down to the cart coming up and then all the way down into the mine itself. And it ends with this shot of the vibrating wire that pulls the cart up and down. And what an absolutely gorgeous shot. And then we're into the mine, and it's dark, and it's incredibly well shot. Those sets are incredible. I wondered if hold on, did they really shoot in a mine? The majority of the location filming occurred in northeastern Pennsylvania in '69. The town of Eckley was so unchanged from its 1870s appearance that the only major alterations needed for filming were to remove television antennas and install underground electric wiring.
Wow.
A wooden coal breaker, which was built as a prop and is featured extensively in the film, partially stands to this day. The movie resulted in the towns being saved from demolition. It was afterward converted into a mining museum under the control of the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission. Portions of the film were also shot in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. The courtroom where the trial scene was filmed is in the Carbon County Courthouse, used for its trials until 1996. Railroad scenes were filmed on the now defunct Carroll Park and Western Railroad in Bloomsburg. So it was all shot on location in Pennsylvania.
Way.
Yeah. And hi, Alicia.
Oh.
Hi, Mrs. Lima.
Oh, Mrs. Lima.
Congratulations on. Oh, can she not hear me?
Just congratulations. Can you hear me?
Thank you.
Congratulations, Mrs. Lima. Your ceremony was fantastic. Thanks for live streaming it. Yeah, it was great. You guys both looked incredible.
Best.
That was fantastic.
Oh, you're. It's like
Thank
an
you.
older guy. So
Oh,
cute.
really?
He's like, punch.
Connery catering here. Thank you.
Connery Catering. Bye, Alicia.
There we go. Oh, yes. They let it cool. Anyways, sorry, what were you saying?
All right. Well, we can take a break if you want to eat.
Oh, no, it's all right. It's got to cool off anyway, so.
Fair enough. All right. So, the opening shot is absolutely gorgeous. It is one of the most well shot things we've seen in any of the films.
A lot. Do we have a budget for this film?
Yes, the budget was $11 million, and it only brought in $2.2 million.
Oh my god!
How is that? Like, that's not right.
Yeah, seriously. It's like there was like kind of jumping around, but like this, like that train scene of them like blowing up the carts, and I was kind of like, wow, they're like putting some budget into this because I thought they were gonna blow the actual train up.
No, I like that they didn't.
Yeah,
because
that would have been too much.
Yeah, that would have been taking innocent lives.
Yeah,
like the lives they take, because there's a discussion on whether to kill somebody or not, and it's over that person's morals. But somebody just driving a train, that's just somebody's job.
Yeah,
so blow up the middle of the train.
But yeah, by like the at the style, that was very shocking. That's how big the budget was. They're like, yeah, let's blow up a train car, and it was insane. But
They blow up a lot in this movie. Okay, so to finish this first paragraph, men are shown planting charges. This appears to be work-related, but all men leave the mine, and the resultant explosion destroys the mine. And so we start right off with a big explosion. So we don't see Sean Connery until 3 minutes and 56 seconds in, and as you said, he doesn't say a word until 40 minutes and 20-ish seconds in there. So a couple of my thoughts. This must have been really scary to film. Those shots in the mine must have been... It must have been dirty and hot or cold, or I can't imagine, but it must have been so uncomfortable on those sets. And then thinking in the reality of the film itself, what if somebody has to poop?
Yeah, where do you poop? Do you have to like dig a hole or something?
Yeah, I can imagine, peeing is easy. You just pee, like, on a slope away from people. But anyway, that's delightful conversation. And also, I recently watched. I have a lot of notes about the intro here, all before the main credits. I recently watched the original My Bloody Valentine, and this would be good to cross-cut those. So you've got the killer from My Bloody Valentine showing up as they're doing work, and okay, I'm just gonna wipe out all my notes here. I'm sorry to like dominate this part of the conversation, but I'm just going to wipe out all my notes here before we even get to the credits.
Get it.
I hope somebody used that mine cart that goes up and down as a roller coaster. So yes, they should have used that mine cart as a roller coaster at least once, just to blow off some steam, if nothing else.
Blow off some steam. When I think of blowing off some steam, let's go on a fucking roller coaster.
Why not?
I hate roller coaster. We did a couple. Well, funny. We're off air. We were talking about the Mummy. I did the Mummy roller coaster.
How was it?
Terrifying for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just not big on. I don't like heights. It's an indoor roller coaster. That's fine. Because last time I was at Disney, I did the Aerosmith rock and roller coaster.
Oh,
and that's also inside. Now it's fine. It's like it's dark, so like I don't like going upside down and shit. But it's cool because Aerosmith music playing in the background. But like they did the Mummy one, And that one was just like it violently drops you. There's a lot of violent turns, and I was just like, it was just terrifying. But
It was strange that the Aerosmith one, all they were playing was Seasons of Wither. Like the most low-key Aerosmith track.
Jesus, I'm with her.
And he's like, this roller coaster is really fast and intense, but I don't understand the music choice.
I would have went for I don't want to miss a thing.
Yeah, right?
At least that one's about like with Armageddon. At least that's like we're going to space. But yeah, roller coasters. It's for some people, but not for me. Like
It's the first 30 seconds of Mama Kin, and then when it like the riff starts over again, you're like, oh, is the roller coaster over? And then it just starts up again. Anyway. Okay, so yeah, I hope they use that as a roller coaster at some point. Missed opportunity if they didn't.
We should make a Sean Connery themed amusement park.
I'll do it in Bricklink.
Yes, and then we can make a Molly Maguires roller coaster, like Molly Maguires mine car exploration or something like that.
Oh my god!
And then you could make like what would a Bond attraction be? Like a bumper cars, but it's like just Bond cars or something.
Well, you'd get the monorails around the theme park.
Oh, you can get to the monorails.
Volcano stunt show.
Stunt show. You could do. You could do the
Octopussy's Flying Circus as like a kid's ride, like
Pussy Galores.
Yeah.
You said Octopussies.
Oh yeah, Pussy Galores.
That'd be a great crossover.
Are they both flying circuses?
Oh yeah, aren't they both? Yeah, the other one's like they did like hot air balloons and stuff, right?
Hold on.
Are they both? Are there two Pussy's Flying Circuses? Wait, I just had a breakthrough right here.
Pussy Galore's Flying Circus.
But what's Octopussies? It's just a regular circus, isn't it? Yeah, like a traveling circus. That's where we get Clown Bond.
Octopussy's International Circus.
Oh.
Yeah. One's flying, one's international. Though to get international, you often have to fly.
I would also make a Avengers do the funhouse scene. It's like a walkthrough attraction.
Yeah.
You see all the weather orbs
just
and
people
stuff.
just get lost and die in there.
Yeah.
You can't actually get out.
There we go.
Yeah, let's kill people in our theme park.
It'd be like Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. It'd be great. I think we do this.
It eventually whittles down to one room that nobody can get out of, and it's just like people keep going in. Oh, this ride looks great. Yeah, the exit must be on the other side. But nobody ever comes out.
Oh, and the quick service food restaurant they have there will be like King Arthur's Court. And one of the menu items is like, I got a roast in the oven. It's a roast with potatoes.
Just based off this podcast.
Yes. We should do a Connery Curious amusement park. Anyways.
There must be an app that we can like, Roller Coaster Tycoon or something.
Yeah, we can make this. Yeah. Minecraft, not Minecraft. What's the kids these days play the Minecraft and the
You know
Roblox.
what we're talking about, the kids out there.
The kids. It's our demographic. The kids love Sean Connery movies,
especially given the warning at the beginning of each episode.
Yeah,
they love this podcast.
They love it. So. But anyways, I'm sorry I took us in a really weird path, but
no, it's okay.
Yes,
a Connery. Or at least a Bond amusement park. A great episode of James Bonding there too. When they're talking about a Bond theme park.
That'd be so much fun.
My next note for the intro is blackface. All these white actors are in blackface. Does that hold up?
I mean, it's not intentional, though. Look at this.
I got you there.
Is that why there's so many negative reviews?
Seeing Sean Connery in blackface is upsetting.
Nobody finished this movie because they were offended by the first 10 minutes of the movie. Like all these English and Scottish actors are in blackface. I don't like it. But they're coal miners. No.
It sounds like racist coal miners to me.
It looks racist to me.
You don't see any African American coal miners down there, do you? It's just children.
Children.
Anyway, so that was just a note I wrote humorously. I wanted to see how long it would take you to realize that I was joking. So thank you.
You never know.
Never know with you, Dylan. You're pretty dumb. And then I wrote again that James Wong Howe, holy cow, his work is just phenomenal. He's the MVP of this film. Just every single that shot where the Mollies are coming out of the mine after they've planted the charges, and it's just that long tracking shot backwards as they're walking out of the mine and going their separate directions.
So like you're waiting for the cliche
explosion in the background,
like walking away from the. I'm like, when's it going to happen?
It doesn't.
They let you hang, and then they wait till they get like a new shot comes in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. I was like, that was really cool. But like, I respect, like, if they remade this movie, I thought about a remake, some fan casting, which we could talk about later. But
it'd be
like
Hugh Jackman walking away from the explosion in X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah. And so like today's standards, I would have been shocked. But like, yeah, I liked how that was, and like, and we'll talk about the music. I love the music in this movie.
Oh, that was literally my next note. Henry Mancini, Heart.
Yeah, great.
That was my
music.
next note.
But I like how they use the silence there. Like they use silence in a good way in some of these like scenes. But like I like that where like that really gives you the like you're thinking what they do down there. Why are they the last ones
you knew they
here?
were planting charges.
Yeah. But like
you were just hanging, waiting.
Yeah, you're
for,
like yeah,
it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
it's
like
gonna happen.
Like when's it, how big is the explosion going to be? Is it going to be not seen? Like what's going to happen? And
pretty damn big when it does happen.
Yeah, it's like insane. I love that. I love that a lot.
I wonder if they just blew up a model, but either way, it's a big explosion and it's impressive, and it's so big that the credits go over it for a while.
Yeah.
I like that credit sequence. Second credit sequence to which we've had fire, right? First Night.
True, yeah.
Also in Men in Tights, the opening gag is that like, would stop burning our houses down for your opening credit sequence. And the last one, the arrows land on the roof, and it's directed by Mel Brooks, and the whole town's like, "Fuck you, Mel Brooks."
I love that movie, man.
It's a good one. It's one of his lesser ones for sure, but it's a good one.
It's huge. And to me, I always quote the Dom DeLuise of him as like the Godfather. It's like finally me, Camelot and Jersey can be as one.
Yeah, he's great in that.
Oh, so good. Love him.
Dom DeLuise is always great. Okay, where are we going here? All right, let's continue down. Okay, we're going down the Wikipedia synopsis still. Pinkerton, so that's Pinkerton's detective service, I'm guessing, sends James McParlin, who is a real person, played by Richard Harris.
Art. Loved him.
I also have that note, Richard Harris, Hart, to investigate. He arrives by train in the late evening and goes to a local bar and orders a beer, while Kehoe, Sean Connery, observes and motions for Doherty and Frazier to deal with the matter. My next note is we should combine all the train scenes in all these Connery films.
So many trains.
Yeah, we should sync this up with The Man Who Would Be King, and anything else that involves a train. McParlin joins Doherty and Fraser at a card table and says he is looking for work in the mine. They are suspicious and see his hands have never dug coal. They accuse him of cheating and deliberately start a fight. Police Captain Davies, Frank Finlay, breaks up the fight and arrests McParlin. However, this is just a ploy as the police know McParlin's role. Davies explains to McParlin the problem of the Molly Maguires and that they are named after a gang in Ireland. They need an inside man to infiltrate the pit. Okay. Do you have any notes thus far that you'd like to talk about?
Let's see, a lot of stuff about the mines. Just I like
We're in the bar at this point.
Yeah, so let's see. I think I put in. Here we go. I love the aesthetic of the bar. I just love how how simple it was, and like I enjoyed it. We go back to this bar a lot in the movie. So I like it's their cantina. You know what I mean? It's just very all the ruffians in there. I really enjoyed, and I just love Connery's acting, just being quiet, like just him observing and stuff. He has that presence that I was really into, and I thought that was really cool. Yeah, and James McParlin so far, Richard Harris is like super charming in this movie. So even trying to weasel his way out of that fight, it's just like calm, cool, and collected for the most part. And yeah, I really like him so far in this, and then we'll get more into get to know him a little more in the next few scenes. But I love him so much.
And in that scene, we have another Bond alumni with Anthony Zerbe, who would be in License to Kill.
Yes.
My next note is, I'm going to share my screen with you. And this is an actor named Anthony Costello sitting here with Connery in the bar. I keep calling him young Ben Affleck.
Oh my God, yeah.
Right. And on that subject, doesn't Richard Harris look like Pedro Pascal in this film?
Wow. I didn't make that.
Or vice versa, that Pedro Pascal looks like Richard Harris.
Well, funny about his, I talked earlier about if they ever remade this, and very ironically, Richard Harris as Dumbledore, the actor portraying Dumbledore in the Fantastic Beasts series, Jude Law. I got Jude Law vibes from him in this movie. Even his accent, like he was obviously, Jude Law was obviously basing his character, excuse me, on Michael Gambon, his version of Dumbledore. But I don't know, he gives me that vibe of Richard Harris after seeing him, because again, this is my first Richard Harris movie outside of Harry Potter. So, but seeing his performance, I'm like, oh wow, that really is kind of reminiscent. So I wonder if Jude Law took some inspiration from Richard Harris a little bit.
Do you know who I would recast in the Richard Harris role if this was remade?
Who?
Pattinson.
Really? Yeah. Yeah, after The Lighthouse or something like that.
Have you seen The Lighthouse?
I haven't seen it, but I want to. Last Pattinson film I saw was The Batman, which he was phenomenal in.
Fantastic.
But yeah, I could see that. Who would you cast as Connery's character? I would lean towards get his name. Luke Evans. Possibly.
Yeah.
Who's been apparently in the consideration, or was, for Bond. Speaking. Yeah, Luke Evans, he's phenomenal. I could see him.
I feel like if this movie would have been made 20 years ago, it would have been Daniel Day-Lewis in either lead role. Okay. So my next note on that is after Gesundheit. After Captain Davies hits Richard Harris on the head, he hits him pretty darn hard, and then Richard Harris lays down on a bed. But his back is on the pillow and his head is on the bed frame.
Yeah, that bothered me too.
Like, you have a head injury, lie on the pillow. He gets so many head injuries in this movie. Like, what good of a detective is he going to be if he's got all these concussions? Anyway, we need you. You're detective. Your job is to take in information and pass that along. Let's just keep damaging your information center.
Poor guy.
All right. So from there, McParlin rents a room from Mary Raines and gives his name as McKenna. He goes into the pit to ask for a job and is told to come back at 5 o'clock in the morning.
My note
on
there
the following
is
day.
Easiest job interview ever.
Right?
He walks in, he's like, I'm looking for work. Okay.
You got it.
You start
'Cause
tomorrow.
it's basically slave labor. Back at the house, he befriends Mary's father. Okay. Miss Mary Raines.
I love them together. That was like very cozy. Them playing dominoes together. I love that.
Yes, the relationship between he and Mr. and Dan Raines is his name. Yeah, really, really sweet relationship there, and especially with Kehoe as well. Because when he comes in, he's actually very kind to him until he kicks him out of the room, but still very kind.
And
to
we'll
him.
talk about later the end too, like where that gets very touching.
Oof, the funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, on a more positive note, then Samantha Eggar as Miss Mary Raines. She's great in this. I think she's one of the most beautiful actresses, and she's genuinely an incredible actress in this film. And the only thing I'd ever seen her in was The Brood, and she's as good in that too. Have you ever seen The Brood?
I've never, no.
She's great in The Brood. She's not in it all that much, but she's great. I haven't seen her in much else.
Is she? Oh, I didn't even know she was in Hercules. Plays Hera, the cartoon, the famous Disney cartoon. Yes, Hera.
Oh wow, that's the mother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow, look at that.
We're making a lot of Disney connections. Talking about
the 67 Dr. Dolittle. Huh.
Lecter.
Yes, that seems to be her most famous role.
And she was in Everything or Nothing, the James Bond video game.
Really?
As additional voices. Didn't say exactly what.
Huh.
And she's the voice of M in 007 Nightfire? What?
What? Okay, well then we need to play that.
Yeah. Jeez.
Wow, that's cool.
That's insane. I love that. Bond, we always find a Bond connection.
Yeah, huh?
Always. Wow, that's
Look
so
at
cool.
that. Yeah. 007 Nightfire.
That's my favorite Bond game.
Is it really?
Oh,
I've never played it.
Oh, you'll love it. It's Pierce Brosnan, but it's not. It's modeled.
And Willem Dafoe, right?
No, that's Everything or Nothing.
Okay.
Because with Nightfire, they used his likeness. Because I remember it came out right before Die Another Day came out. Because I remember they gave you a trailer at the end of the game. But yeah, it's not Pierce's voice though. But they have his likeness, and it's really cool. And it's worth the play. Bond fans listening to 007 Nightfire on the PS2 or GameCube. So good.
Let's play it. Let's play it one day.
Let's do it.
Come over.
Oh, I'm always down.
Okay, let's keep going. So he begins work the next day. It is backbreaking work, and he is exhausted. This is McKenna or McParlin. Richard Harris.
Yeah. I kept getting confused too because I guess I missed the name change, And so originally I did like, James McParlin, Hart. And then I kept hearing McKenna. And I was like, wait, did I get his name wrong?
Yeah, well, it makes sense because he's undercover.
Yeah.
So I just stuck with calling him Richard Harris.
Perfect.
My next note here is the montage of him working in the mine. I'm going to intercut with the montage of working in the mine from Zoolander. And put working for the weekend over it.
Think I'm getting the black lung, Pop.
God damn it, Derek, you've been down there one day. He says, come back to me in 42 years. Which is how long Dan has been working in the mine for.
Oh, I wonder if that's a reference
to this film?
Maybe.
Or 42 is just a nice round number for working in the mines.
Maybe.
Okay. At the end of the week, he joins the long queue for pay. He is paid $9.24. However, a long list is made of deductions, including cost of explosives and cost of shovels. $9 is deducted, so his pay for the week is 24 cents. She says the room is $1.50 a week. How is this even going to happen?
Ugh. Man. Rough, man. Imagine that, how times have changed. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, out of curiosity, in 1876, what is 24 cents worth? Hold on.
That's got to be like $50, maybe.
1876 to now. Value of $1876 today. Amount 24 cents would be $6.71.
Oh.
So yeah, slave labor.
Jesus.
Okay. In church, the priest condemns last night's actions by the Molly Maguires, beating a watchman and flooding a mine. James attends church with Mary. That seems out of order. Kehoe confronts James in the pit the next day and asks why he is there. A fake accident is organized where Kehoe rescues James from a huge avalanche of coal. James then gives a false confession, saying that he is there to avoid the law as he is a forger and is in hiding. He also says he killed a man in Buffalo, New York over a woman. Kehoe discusses McKenna with his wife and then the other miners. They do suspect that he is a spy. So yeah, the church scene is Connery's first line after the church scene.
Yep.
As they're leaving.
40 minutes.
40 minutes, yeah.
How's the old man, Mary?
Worn out?
I've been on to see him on Tuesday night.
I trust, Mr. McKenna, you'll not be taken in by the troublemakers.
I've never started no trouble, Father.
See, I have a couple of notes with him.
Yeah, please.
So I have Jack saves James. We're getting close to my favorite scene in the movie.
Jack saves James, and then Connery as Jack saves James, which means now he has to play James one more time.
Yeah. Wow, look at that. Conspiracy.
Yeah. And rocks. They're being crushed by coal, which is where you would find
diamonds. Ooh. Wow.
Anyway.
You just blew my mind.
Just like Anthony Zerbe's brain in License to Kill. And I just shit my pants, so I need to launder it.
Oh, man.
Anyway, sorry, your notes.
Jack saves James. Then I said Jack is Burgermeister when he kicks the ball away from those children.
That was a nice little moment, though, I gotta say.
I did.
The whimsical music, and Richard Harris is kind of just dancing in place with a ball. Like, the game is just like, kick a ball between your own feet. Like, there's no real game. It's just the ball exists and is a ball.
I was really hoping for Connery to get some action, which we do soon, which we will talk about. And but yeah, that's all I have. That so Jack is Burgermeister, and then I have, and then I cut to a cringe moment. Dirty Hands lunch of all of them discussing
While eating lunch with their horribly dirty hands.
yeah, eating like a deviled egg or whatever, and like
And just licking their fingers
yeah.
clean.
Oh my god, I was like COVID times is one thing, but that's just disgusting.
It's salt.
Yeah.
It makes it's seasoning.
Oh man.
There's got to be salt in those mines to some degree. Like,
It's
shipping away enough coal, you get to some salt. That's not true.
and then yeah, that's all I have, and then we'll get to it. The rugby game, rugby or football?
Football, yeah.
Man.
Well, at least it's called football here on the Wikipedia page,
Yeah.
but it's just basically ball.
No, it's technically rugby. I'm pretty sure because I was watching. I was like, I looked up rugby. I'm like, yeah, I think this is rugby because the way they because you can kick the ball from the goal to serve it back in, kind of like soccer, but you can like pass the ball while
Yeah,
running,
they're carrying it. Yeah,
yeah, and you can
It's
pass
rugby,
it. So I think it was rugby.
but with a round ball.
But yeah, this was my favorite scene. This was insane.
So really good. This was so violent. Did you see The Northman?
No,
Northman? No, Robert Eggers' latest movie.
no.
Cause we was at the Lighthouse recently. Have you seen any of his films? He's done 3 films: The Witch, the Lighthouse, and The Northman.
I haven't seen these yet. No.
Watch all 3 of them; they're all great. But in The Northman, there's another game like this where it's just people beating the shit out of each other, and it gave me vibes of that. Or maybe Eggers drew influence from this, but yeah, this was so fucking brutal. Let's read it here. After a violent football match with a rival pit, Doherty gets in a fight with one of the rivals. This is Zerby, and is beaten up by the police. James is asked to take revenge action and breaks a policeman's jaw. We do not see this. Oh yeah, huh? The captain chastises James, but he is said he had to make it look real. Yeah, quoting the captain regarding his earlier attack in the bar. Okay, this is a very thorough Wikipedia. But yeah, that whole football fight is brutal.
When they're all like interlocked with each other trying to get the ball, and Connor's just punching that guy repeatedly in the chest.
Real punches too.
Oh my god! So, and this sequence and the fight sequence after the celebration, both those scenes, the game itself and in the fight, those are 2 of my 007 moments.
Yeah.
That's what
where you'd put the music?
I put the 007 music in during the game, and then put it in the fight at the end. And I had a fun little scene where when you see that one guy dancing next to the trophy and Connery's clapping, I want to put like 007 like disco song in the beat.
Oh, I would put like a Lord of the Rings music in there. And then like cut away and it's Bilbo's birthday party from Fellowship.
We gotta do that. That's it. That's this week's meme.
All right, I'll do that. I'll do that one.
Yeah, this whole
hold on,
sequence.
I gotta write that so I don't forget it.
Oh yes.
Let me just write that down.
Yeah, this whole football scene was insane, and just like I remember laughing so hard. Just not because it's funny, just because of how intense it was. Just like these guys are like beating the absolute shit out of each other, and Connery's a freaking monster. He's like, I think he played ball back in the day. I think we talked about this in the show.
Yes.
And so like imagine getting tackled by Sean Connery in the 70s. That's probably a hard hit right there. And those look like shoot hits, man. It was crazy.
So I've got, as I've opened this book here, Sean Connery from 007 to Hollywood Icon by Andrew Yule. An on-screen game of soccer provided one of the unit's few lighter moments. I don't think lighter. I think there were some injuries on that day. And a welcome break from the otherwise unrelieved grimness of the script. 25 professional soccer players were brought in from New York and Philadelphia soccer and Gaelic leagues to augment the acting team of Connery, Harris, Anthony Costello, and Anthony Zerby. With the bulk of the movie in the can, the unit prepared Okay. Anyway, yeah. So it carries on there. So yeah, they brought in 25 real professional soccer players for that scene.
Wow.
They're just kicking the shit out of each other. Like, obviously, there's sound effects added in, but watch this scene, folks. Like, people are hurting each other and getting hurt. It's fucked, and everyone is just like, woohoo! We love it. We love you for doing that.
They were going nuts. They were like, oh my God. It was perfect for just having the Super Bowl happen. So this is the kind of Super Bowl I want to see. I want to see Sean Connery punching people in the chest.
And then Zerby starts a fight over a woman named Taffy. Did you? I had to write that down. Taffy ? Because it just kept getting said. Taffy. Must have been her name. I don't know. So yeah, that is that part.
And I also have my first Connery quotable is "You'll take care of nobody, you drunken short."
Yes. I feel like I didn't write down enough Connery quotes, but he does have some good ones in there.
There's some good like monologues, really good like speaking scenes, but of the funny scenes there weren't a ton, but that one just really hit me because that was where also my note is this is where I started to notice, oh, he's putting on a little bit of an Irish accent, and so I was like, it's not bad. It's like, definitely still, because he is supposed to be Irish in this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I was kind of like, oh, that's cool that he's putting on. I think we talked about this in the episode, like where he rarely puts on an accent. Like early Bond, maybe a little bit, but he was always had that Scottish accent come through.
Well, he'll do one in a year when he goes, "Who is your floor?"
Who's your floor? I speak English. Oh, I can't wait for that movie. But yeah, I enjoyed that for sure.
Yes. Okay, where are we here? Kehoe and the 4 other ringleaders appear at the Rains house and usher old Mr. Rains away. I love whoever wrote this Wikipedia page. Old Mr. Rains. Yeah, he was great as well. Played by Brendan Dillon. Okay. They ask James to kneel, and they make the sign of the cross. He thinks he's going to die, but instead they make him a member of the ancient order of the Hibernian, which is the cover organization for the Mollies. Mary chides him for joining, but the next day they take a train trip to the city and go shopping. While Mary is looking at hats, he has a rendezvous with the captain and gets payment for giving the names of the ringleaders. So, my next note here. Richard Harris, in order to get a few days off from the mine, crushes his own fingers in a fucking railroad tie. Why did he do that? Surely they have some days off. They must have days off. They must have one day off.
At least.
Yeah,
it might have been more strict back then, so it's kind of like you have to be there no matter what, unless
maybe church on Sunday. Go out shopping afterwards. I don't know. But maybe there were rules.
Hey, I mean, the job I was recently in, I would have broke my hands twice to get out of that job. So I understand. I understand.
Well, some jobs make you break your hands too.
That did that too. That job did that too. But anyways.
Yeah.
The only quote I had from that was I thought it was a little charming because you get a little bit of flirtation there. When he leaves the hat shop, he says,
"Yep, my same note.
Where are you off to?
Going?
To rob a bank to pay for that hat."
Yes, I have that written down as well. That is a great quote from that. And he, the next one that I wrote down is he uses this while talking with the detective and talking with Connery. Connery asks why he's here, and he says he was a forger and he killed a man. Okay, so apparently forging money is called pushing the queer. Did you notice that?
That's
He
right.
says it
yeah.
twice. He says it twice. Pushing the queer.
Yeah.
And then the fake money is like, it looks like if I photocopied money today.
I saw there was a fun fact I saw somewhere. Hold on, let me pull it back up about that dollar. Yeah, it says Strongheart takes out a $1 bill, which apparently wasn't printed until 1923. The movie's supposed to take place 50 years earlier, so I guess that was like one of the goofs on the film. Is that which is like something that would be pulled out of like today's standards, like hey, like Stranger Things, like hey that camcorder didn't come out till 92.
Yeah,
This is supposed to be 85, man.
But you didn't. There was no home video then, so you didn't care. It was just $1 being torn up.
Yeah, it looked like $1 to me. So I
if
was
anything,
fine.
you'd be sitting in the theaters, be like, they tore up $1. Why'd they do that? I could have seen a movie for that.
A lot of funny factual errors here. Going back to the soccer, why are they playing rugby with a soccer ball?
Yeah, that's why I didn't think it was rugby.
Yeah, it's like, but they're like using their hands, they're passing it. I was so confused because then I had to Google it, and I said like Molly Maguires sports, and I kept being called rugby, between rugby and football. I'm like, I'm gonna go with football because whatever.
Coal ball.
Coal ball.
The ball was filled with coal.
The Rocket League. Early Rocket League. Anyways.
Okay, holy long shots is my next note. The shot that goes, I see here on the wiki, it's called the coal cracker. The shot that goes inside of the coal cracker with all those people on the slope just acting as a human conveyor belt.
Yeah, that was like uncomfortable. Like, I thought they were sitting like in the coal, but like they have like a little wood plank they're sitting on.
Yeah, they're like hoisting themselves up.
I was like, man, imagine like I can barely sit down comfortably for anything to tie my shoes. Like imagine just like you're on that incline and sorting. So what are they sorting through? Just like dirt?
I think they were acting as something to keep the conveyor belt moving.
That makes sense. Yeah,
the rocks would stop sliding at some point.
Yeah, so they're like kicking it, but like it looks like they were also picking things out of it. Like,
yeah,
I don't know how you could freaking tell.
Maybe checking for ones with diamonds or something. I don't know.
I don't know because they're like they were taking but they were throwing it on the ground like it was nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they were pulling out any of value. It was just like ones that were kind of larger than the rest.
Yeah, but like, how can you tell what like between a rock and like a stick? Everything's like covered in like black soot and whatever. It's like. I thought that was really interesting, and they're all kids too. So it's like for the most part, kids are in the front, and like the adults are kind of in the back. You see Richard Harris towards the very bottom.
Oof,
I
have no idea how this was filmed.
Yeah,
how was this real? Like, were there safety precautions?
Yeah, it's same thing with the hat designs of like the flaming torch hats. Like that was very interesting how they built it because you have that little kind of looks like a light for like a camera or something that's like a little dish that's covering. Not everybody had them on their hats.
It's
but
not even covering. It's just like
just keeping like the flame.
Yeah, like the way you cover a lighter when you're trying to light a cigarette on a windy day.
Well, I think it's like kind of reflecting the light a little more. But like I'm like, man, it's just interesting. They must have like obviously probably photos like back then. But it's very very interesting to see old 1800s technology like I haven't seen since Back to the Future 3.
Right.
Oh yeah, I think they might have those hats in Back to the Future 3 now that I'm thinking about it. I gotta watch Back to the Future 3.
I don't remember. I haven't watched those movies in so long.
I watched both of them in the hospital, which was really funny. They had them both on Sci-Fi, which is weird. They played. I caught
1 and 2.
Yeah, it was weird. I caught the end of 2, so I was like, all right, watch the rest of that, and then they immediately play 1. I was like, that's interesting.
Why wouldn't you go to 3?
That's what I thought. Like it was like a weird like marathon, and then I got checked out by the time the movie was ending, anyways. But I was like, oh, cool to relive those movies. But I gotta watch 3 again.
No, Doc, I can't leave yet. I gotta know how this ends. I know how it ends, but I gotta see it again.
Oh yeah, it's really good. That's gonna bother me. I want to see if they actually have the hats.
Yeah, share your screen with me. I'll keep reading. A train of coal is derailed by an explosion on the track coordinated by the Mollies. At a meeting of the Hibernians, James is asked to put a superintendent at the Shenandoah pit out of action. Kehoe and James go to Shenandoah, but are ambushed by the police. The police arrest 8 men back at the pit, but all have alibis. James is taken to the captain to interview, who beats him up before he returns for realism. By now, James and Mary are in love. They go to a picnic and discuss morality. Let's see how my notes line up with that. Okay. So the police captain beats him up again. He says, "Sorry, I got to make it look realistic." And Richard Harris goes, "Always a pleasure working with a man who loves his job." So I thought that was a nice little burn, but also a nice, clever line. It sucks that he keeps getting beat up, though. Okay. So that scene, they go and shoot the superintendent, and it turns out that there are police there ambushing them. They knew about the attack that was going to happen. So they said that I heard one line of dialogue that said that the superintendent that they went to kill is still alive. But then then Connery hears word that he's dead. Do you think that's like the authorities double cross, like saying, okay, he's still alive, but say that he's dead because it may draw out the real attackers, or he is dead, but say that he's still alive? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I got a little confused with that too. Oh, so say it again. So set it up again. It's like,
okay, so they go to the Mollies go to Shenandoah, which is another mine, to kill a superintendent of the mine because he's being an asshole. But when they get there, there are police, and it becomes a violent shootout. The superintendent does get shot, but you don't know his outcome. You only hear it through other people's dialogue. Somebody says he's still alive, and then Connery at one point says they killed the superintendent. Now I'm curious if Harris, as McKenna, gave them false information and said, no, we killed the superintendent. You know what I mean? It's not important ultimately,
to
but
protect him.
Yeah, but like if I say that you killed him, you're not going to go out and risk your neck again. You know?
Yeah, because that's that would make sense.
So I don't know if he's alive. Ultimately, it doesn't matter, and in the end, they're tried for murder. So I guess he does die. Okay, my next note. By now, James and Mary are in love. They go for a picnic and discuss morality. I want to discuss this picnic.
Oh yes, because they don't.
You like riddles, Mario?
I do like riddles, but my one quote is "You have a way with chicken." That's my quote from this picnic.
That is a good quote. You have a way with
chicken.
chicken.
A way with chicken.
I've got another line here that I'm going to share with you. I've took screenshots of it, so I didn't have to write it down, but I will read it as we go.
Okay.
So this is from that picnic. He's got plenty of riddles for Samantha Egger, Miss Mary Raines, and she's smart as can be, smart as a whip, and she's getting all the riddles one after another, even though half the time I have no idea what he's even saying. He's saying them really fast, like it's like song lyrics.
Snug in a corner, I saw the lad lie. Fire in his heart and a cock in his eye.
A bottle of whiskey.
Out she goes and the priest dinner with her.
A hen with an egg.
There's no catching you.
Not with words.
The one that really stood out to me, I had to take screenshots of. So here we'll go little bit by bit. "'Tis round a dish was ever known, and white as snow the look of it.
'Tis food and life for all mankind, yet no man e'er partook of it. This time you're caught.
I'm not.
It's breast milk." And then they just start macking because she's like, "Turn me on talking about breast milk." I mean, I get it, but like, what? But then it's got the best cut in the movie because it instantly cuts to a baby.
Yeah. Genius. They know what they're doing.
But that shot then leads to one of the most horrible things in the movie because that baby is sleeping right next to his parents, and the police burst in, and it's Fraser and his wife, and they just murder them. In their sleep.
Well, the baby didn't die, did he?
No.
They
say the baby
because you hear
alive.
the crying, which is like that was just like really haunting. Like
The whole thing was very Godfather-esque.
yeah, right.
You know, cross-cutting from love to murder in a bed with a baby. You know, very Godfather-esque.
Oh yes.
All right, where are we going from here? Fraser and his wife are murdered in their bed by the police, the Peelers, in a revenge attack. At the funeral, the priest shows little sympathy. Doherty is arrested for killing the superintendent of the Shenandoah, but this is a ploy to bring the real killers forward. That's what I was wondering. Is he actually dead? Anyway, as old Mr. Raines gets the last rites, the priest calls Kehoe to discuss the whole affair. This is my next note. Is the priest in on it? Is the priest, like, at least a member of the Hibernians that the Mollies are a smaller subsect of? Because he keeps going like, you know, you're turning away from the church, but he's not shaming. It feels like from that whole conversation, it feels like the priest is in on it. Did you get that vibe?
I think so. Like, yeah, part of me was kind of like
he knows about it.
Like he's like, I feel like that church, the initial church scene, like of them, and they cut to every single member, like Connery and Fraser, and they're kind of like looking kind of with their head down a little bit, like, you know, like we know. I think he, like, the whole time he's like, he knows. He's like you should do the right thing and stop this, blah blah. So I think he did know.
At the very least, maybe he's like approves that they're fighting back, but doesn't approve the way that they're doing it. Like,
yeah,
don't do it with violence. Fight back in a way that makes sense, but don't stop destroying things and hurting people.
Yeah, which is a lot of the tone of what James is trying to do, you know, with Jack, where he's trying to, like, you know, get that scene, like, we'll jumping to the end a little bit, but, like, you know, of him, like, I wanted you to be better, I wanted you to not do this, and, you know, Jack did it anyways and all that. So
I tried to warn you, I tried to make you stop.
Yeah, so it's like the you know, that great scene of them like sabotaging after the funeral. They're sabotaging that building, the shop, or whatever, and they catch it on fire and stuff.
I have a note about that.
But yeah, it's so yeah, you got to think that, like, that's the whole lesson of this movie. It's like, yes, what's going on in this society is terrible, but there's better ways to deal with it than violence. That's the whole undertone of this film, I feel.
I agree with that. And my next note being is that after the priest is finished delivering his little speech to Connery, he notices, I phrased it as, whoops, he died while I was talking. He's kind of like, oh, he's gone. Yeah, well, just give that a check. Yep, he's gone. All right, well, that's what.
Oops.
See what happens when you take your hands off the wheel? So then following that is Mr. Raines' wake. At Mr. Raines' wake, the Mollies meet in a back room. The wake party break into the company store. Okay, we're skipping ahead a bit. I really like Connery's meltdown. It's established that Connery doesn't drink.
Right.
And he's drinking at this wake. And he kind of starts to let loose a bit. And I don't have a favorite Connery line. I think all of this bit is my favorite Connery line, when he's yelling at a corpse for not doing more with his life.
Yeah, I did funeral monologue heart, where I was like, that was just like really intense acting from him, and I was like, he's really fucking leaning into it, and like this is like his Oscar moment here. I was like, wow, it was just really really cool to see them. And it's just like, this man deserves a suit, and then like, let's give him a suit, and he runs out.
An animal makes a sound. Well, he had it to use. Now, why didn't he use it? It was all he had. Didn't he know that? What more did they have to do to him? They took everything else. Look at him now. They haven't even left him a suit to be buried in.
I said, man, this is it was crazy. But like, I love that from him. That's just like, if we're ranking Connery's characters, this is up there for me for sure.
Connery's characters.
Like next to his character from Cuba, this is like one of my favorite performances of him, and there's just like breathtaking. But it's just I still can't believe that we get Diamonds Are Forever after this, which again is great because we love that movie. But it's like two different guys
when he's so invested in this.
Yeah.
And literally one of his first scenes in Diamonds Are Forever is him not listening to M. Like, are you paying attention, 007? Yep. Barely.
Like to get something off your chest.
I think this is my favorite Connery scene in this movie when he is melting down, very upset that this man spent his whole life, all his strength and his voice, just gave it to this company who took away his soul. And that was really powerful. Okay, so we can continue here. The Wake party break into the company store and steal a suit for Mr. Raines to be buried in. But Kehoe then gets carried away and starts stealing more things. He is distracted when James starts destroying bottles of alcohol with a shovel, and they decide to set the store on fire. I had a problem with that. That's everyone's stuff. Everybody needs that stuff. And you're a small town, and whatever hope of being a local hero, you're now an asshole.
Yeah, you like you literally set everything because that's the only store they have in that town, for what I know.
And it's got all the food, all the liquor, and all the clothes. Like, just destroy it all. That's fine.
Rebellion.
Can I request a pause for a Connor P?
Cut right there.
Awesome. Thank you. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'll be here. Wahoo! It's a Mario, Mr. Mario Lima.
Hello, Mario.
Is that you?
This is I. A terrible impression of Sean Connery from beyond the grave.
I bet, yeah.
How are you?
All right.
Tell me, have you ever been to my friend Brian's house?
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Like all the frickin'...
Well, I haven't. He hasn't invited me over. Can you tell me about it?
There's different sizes of rooms. If like
tell
you
me
want,
about his bathroom.
It was good for Brian because he had to like keep all his shit there.
Really?
Like,
Well, I heard there's no bathrooms.
yeah, where do you poop? Do you have to like dig a hole or something?
What is he paying for a place like this?
But it could be pricey with the rent. It's like having a storage unit.
Well, Mario, I'll let you get back to your podcast. I've got many things I must do here in the afterlife.
I bet, yeah.
Lots of Hollywood starlets to bed.
I bet, yeah.
So many rounds of golf. I've got to play with so many famous people.
I bet, yeah.
Stop saying that.
I'm going to stop right here.
Excellent. Well, when you reach the afterlife, you simply must join me. I'll hold a spot for a round of golf for you.
Yeah, why not?
You're interested?
Count me in, coach.
Excellent. Well, I'll let you go now.
All right.
Goodbye. See you when you die. Don't go tipping your wick in some pie. Shango is the god of the sky.
We're back.
All right, we're back at it. Where did we leave off?
We were talking about them burning down the shop.
Burning down the shop. Yes. Irresponsible. That's everybody's stuff. Though it is a very good scene between the two actors.
Yeah, we're not dead yet. And them running off like children.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I wrote that line down. I won't die at all. Haven't I told you, Jack? I'll live forever. Okay, so the next day, Kehoe is it the next day or is it? Yeah, it's the next day. Kehoe and McAndrew, young Ben Affleck, are caught red-handed as they break into the explosive store at the pit and find that it is full of police. So they go. McAndrew opens a big box that's labeled explosives, like a big box labeled explosives, and it's full of policemen. Like it's like a shed, kind of. So I'm going to call this the crate trick.
The old crate trick.
Indeed.
A lot of them too. Even like in the building behind them, like a bunch flooded out too. There was like the
At
whole
least 20, I think.
Yeah, the whole force was there. Jeez.
Only at the trial do they discover James' true identity as a detective. Mary watches in shock. Kehoe, McAndrew, and Doherty are all sentenced to death. Mary explains she could cope with him as a murderer, but not as a traitor. Oof. Awaiting execution, Kehoe is visited in the cell in the death cell by James. They have a quiet and civilized conversation. Kehoe sees that James seeks absolution. He suddenly loses his temper, and attacks James. He is rescued by the warders. He tells his one-time ally that no punishment short of hell can redeem his treachery. Detective Partland retorts that, in that case, see you in hell.
You're taunting little freeze out there. Well, then I'll see you in hell. Oh, man.
Freeze before you make it to the first marker. Yeah, I really like that last line.
Yeah.
See you in hell. And then the final shot of the movie is the prepping of the gallows.
Which I was kind of like, that was okay. I thought I didn't like that there was like, that they cut on them testing out the sandbags. I think they should have just had them on the stand.
No,
you don't think so?
I liked the way that it ended because they're not being put to death yet, and Harris is walking out past this. It's literally the end result of his job. This final shot is representative of the end result of his job. His job was to go in there and smash this operation up, and he knew that it was going to result in somebody's death. And here it is. He's leaving the site. He is walking away. He's not even going to see those men be put to death. Which further emphasizes that traitorous aspect of him. Like, he's going to go in and mess everything up and then not even not even have the stomach to witness the consequences. But, and that's not, I'm not calling him weak. He's a very strong character, but I think that last shot is very symbolic of what his character is as a whole. He is this agent that is sent in, and ultimately it results in people dying. And that's the end of the movie.
That is it, man. We finally come to the scoring section of our show.
Yeah, this has been a pretty short episode.
Yeah, which we kind of spoiled our scores earlier, but it's okay. We could talk about it again.
Well, what else can we talk about in regards to this movie?
So I think all in all, closing statements, like this phenomenal film. I felt there's this like acting all around was great. I feel like I enjoyed every character I saw on screen for the most part. Again, calling back to Connery and Harris's on-screen chemistry, especially in that last scene of them in the cell together.
That was a beautiful scene.
Like that, like they are fantastic together. So now, like, I know we love Connery and Michael Caine's friendship, but like I want to see how these guys were, because these guys seem like they were pretty close too.
They were phenomenal together. And I will say that final scene together when Connery grabs him by the neck, my jaw dropped.
Yeah.
I was legitimately in shock. Like, some incredible acting in this film all around.
Yeah, really good. And yeah, that's like, I don't know what else to say. It's just like both of them are fantastic. I love Connery in this. This is probably like in my top 5 as of right now of Connery films right now, which is outside of James Bond. It's just like really, really great acting, great, and I wish this seems like a popular film. Like for some
I don't know.
fun, like I don't know.
I
Like,
had never heard of it.
I've heard the name in conversation a lot. I never knew anything about it. I've heard people talk about Molly Maguires, which I mean makes sense because it's a true story. You know, Molly Maguires are real, but yeah, I don't know. But like seeing the critics score so high, and IMDb it's like a 6.8 out of 10. But a lot of reviews seem to like it. There's not much negativity in it.
I would have had. Usually, my notes are, you tend to lean towards the positive, if not just pointing out the ridiculous, less so than a negative, because I don't really like getting too negative on the film, because we're here to have a good time with it, unless the film itself makes it negative. But I granted, I did fill up a page, as you can see, but I feel like my notes are rather scarce because I was just enjoying this movie so much. It was phenomenal. I was just, excuse me, James Wong Howe is just an incredible cinematographer, and now I'm really interested in watching more films that he shot. The Drums of Fate, The Oklahoma Kid, Air Force, Hangmen Also Die. This was his second to last film. His final film was a film called Funny Lady with Barbra Streisand and James Caan. Huh. I'd be very interested in watching more of his films, just because of how absolutely gorgeous this film was. Mark of the Vampire. Very interesting. Yeah, I really want to watch more of his films. And he directed 2, Invisible Avenger and Go Man Go. What's The Invisible Avenger? A noir crime film. From 1958. Anyway, I'm sorry. Again, more riveting stuff here, but
thanks to the magic of cutting.
HUD is another one that he filmed. I know that movie is very famous with Paul Newman, also directed by Martin Ritt. Yeah, I'd be interested in watching more films from both the director and the cinematographer, just based on how absolutely gorgeous this was. Also, the poster for this movie kicks ass. That fist coming through the poster, that's awesome.
Yeah, there's so many posters. I want these posters now hung on my wall. Like a lot of these movies that we've seen lately.
You saw the Shalico posters that I showed.
The Shalico posters are dope.
They look awesome.
Hell yeah! It's like you don't get this anymore. I feel. I mean, there's some cool posters out there. Like every
movie
Bond
posters
poster
today are not great.
Like every Bond poster, even the Bond posters are kind of like lackluster. But there's a couple of like fan ones. Like someone made a really cool fan.
Those are always cooler.
Of like No Time to Die. They made it look like a traditional, like Connery era, but they had like there's like the DB5 driving, and then like there's the villains' heads everywhere. That's really cool.
Those No Time to Die promotional posters were terrible.
Yeah, they're boring. Just him,
against
tuxedo,
a black and white background, and then against like a gray or beige wall.
Yeah, have some fun with posters, man. Come on, it's just it's insane. But yeah, so visually great. Music again. I love the music in this. I thought it was really
Henry
good.
Mancini's score is fantastic.
We didn't even talk about the like little scene of Mary Raines and James kind of having a little sing off in the kitchen there in the beginning.
Yeah, that was really sweet.
Yeah,
that is really sweet. He's in the kitchen. He's in the dining room playing dominoes with her father, and she starts singing in the other room, and he starts singing, and then she kind of stops, and he's like, "Okay, I'm just gonna keep going." It was a really sweet moment. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
On the subject of the soundtrack, the Molly Maguires soundtrack composed by Henry Mancini replaced that originally composed by Charles Strauss. Mancini's score employed Irish modal harmony played by period instruments on the Irish harp, tin whistle, and squeezebox. Both soundtracks were released in 2012 on a limited edition CD, now sold out. I want to hear the first soundtrack, so I'm going to do some research on that and see if I can find it.
Find it.
Yeah, because I really want to hear this other soundtrack. Yeah, absolutely beautiful music. I really like the moment in the bar, the first moment in the bar where nothing like a bit of music to ease your troubles at the end of the day, and Harris goes, he's out of tune. Well, poor old deaf bastard can't hear it anyway since a lump of coal fell on him.
Been there, done that. But all right, so are we ready for our? We have two review scores we have here on the Connery Curious podcast. We rate the movie itself, and of course, the man we have the podcast about, Sir Sean Connery, review his acting in this film. So we can probably go over it again, I guess, the scores for the movie.
And then also on a scale of 1 to 10, does the SH?
Does the SH?
I'd say about a 2.
Yeah, very, very subtle.
Minimally. Alrighty, so what are you giving the film out of 10?
Definitely sticking with the 9. I thought this was great.
I agree. I'm giving it a 9. What is keeping it from being a 10 for you? I'll tell you what's keeping it from being a 10 for me.
Sure, hit me with it.
The romance plot. And not because I don't like the romance plot, but I feel like it hinders. I think the riddle scene, the picnic riddle scene, is a bit much. I think you could drop that aspect of it and just let it be. He takes her out shopping, and just show their relationship growing anyway. Don't show her like being hesitant to it. Just have her be hurt at the end when it's revealed that he's a traitor. Simple as that.
Yeah, I feel like that was kind of like a slow burn, if anything. With like, I don't know, I could have done without it, I guess, but
it could have just been trimmed down a bit.
Yeah,
you still have it be there, like he's developing a relationship with somebody to not go crazy while being in the mines, and it further cements his loyalty to that side.
And let's see. Other than that,
so we both rated the film a 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I think I think I just keep it at that, just because like I can't really identify what about it like it doesn't make it a 10 for me. I just think it's just like, I don't know, maybe just
it's not. In your heart, it's not a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you there. I was debating on a 9.5, but I was almost went with a 9.25, but I didn't. I stuck with a 9 because I feel like that's really fair. All right, and so we both gave it a 9 out of 10. What are we giving Sean Connery, Sir Sean Connery, the man himself?
And phenomenal. I think I'm just gonna go for it. I think I gotta give him a 10.
Wow.
I think.
Diggity damn.
I
haven't been writing these scores down. Hold on. Molly Maguires, we both give the film a 9.
I think a 10. I think the funeral monologue put me over. I think I was sitting at a 9 up till then. I think so. I'm like, yeah, he's really good. He's enjoying himself. I think he's fine. But I think just that was so heartfelt, that drunken funeral scene, and I'm like, wow. And then of course in the scene at the end in the jail cell, it's really fucking good. So I think for sure this guy he killed it in this. So I'm gonna give him a nice solid 10.
Well, I'm gonna give him a 9.5.
Okay. Reason behind the 0.5.
I think the fact that we didn't hear him speak for 40 minutes maybe robbed us of a little bit of Connery, because he's just so stoic in those first scenes. But also, I don't know, there was nothing. Like we said before, I knew in my heart it wasn't a 10, but it's a 9.5 for sure. It is a strong 9.5.
Yeah, I agree with you with the whole 40 minutes of no Connery, but at the same time, those 40 minutes that he was there, he definitely was a force where just, the long stairs across the room. We're like, we're gonna meet him soon. Gonna get crazy. So
Do you know? Also, it just hit me. I think I know another reason. No Happy Connery in this movie.
it's Happy Connery.
When?
When they're dancing with the trophy, he has the biggest.
Yeah. The game. That's one.
Yeah, he has the biggest smile, and then and I don't know. He seems kind of.
There's less Happy Connery.
I like him with Mr. Raines with the dad when they first go to like before they like knight him to be a Molly Maguire. When it's just like that fun little like back and forth. It's like, hey, old man, looking good. We could have used you in the football field today.
Right.
You know?
That was great. Yeah.
Just he was
yeah.
like,
Okay. You know what? You're swaying me. I'm gonna go 9.75.
ooh, we're going higher. Okay.
Excuse me. 9.75. And that's the first time I've done that. It's the first time I've gone in quarter increments.
This is historical.
But I think if there were more, excuse me, if there were more happier Connery moments, I'd go with a 10.
Mm.
But the football scene is more brutal than fun. I think that takes it away from me. Like, he's clearly having fun, but I'm feeling the pain as it happens. And yeah, he's quite pleasant with the dad, but I think he's more gentle than like enthusiastic, because you don't want to get enthusiastic with an old man who's about to die.
Yeah.
You don't want to give him a heart attack. But yeah, I think if we had seen maybe a little bit more of the man who would be king madness in his eyes, maybe I'd go with a full-on 10. But for now, 9.75. You boosted it up for me.
All right, I'll take it.
I'm just gonna correct my rating here on the page.
Hey.
9.75. Okay. Alrighty, so let me mark this as watched.
Does that mean it's time for our favorite segment of the show?
That means it's time for our favorite segment of the show. Whose turn is it?
It might be mine.
I think it is yours.
I think so.
It is.
All right.
Well, if we had the guest today, we would have given it to the guest. But I think that'll be the way forward. If we have a guest, we let them spin.
Sure.
I think it's only fair, right? It's
Yeah.
Why deny people the fun?
Sure. All right.
Alrighty,
I'm pulling the wheel up for you.
Alrighty.
Can you see it?
I can see it. Just scroll through the list, make sure everything that we've watched is off of the
I
list.
actually went through and it still had Molly Maguires in there, so I actually pulled that off. So let me just
Took it
double
off.
check.
Awesome.
I think other than that, it's clean.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right.
All right. What are you hoping for this time, my friend? What are you hoping for?
You know me, man. I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that first Bond movie. Also would like indie. I'm in an indie mood because of because I got to see the Indiana Jones stunt spectacular at Disney, which was very fun and nostalgic for me. And the new movie's coming out, so I'm in a mood for some indie, and it's one of my favorite Connery movies of all time. So
it is a great one.
So I'm hoping for that. How about you?
Well, okay. I was just thinking of a film I want to watch, but then it just reminded me of another note I have here. No, I didn't write it down, but the Molly Maguires is very similar to The Hill.
Oh, okay.
From 1965. They're very, very similar in terms of there's a system, and it's very abusive to those on bottom, and those on top do not understand. And there's one character that makes an attempt to understand. It's an interesting film. I'd like to watch that again, but it might be a little too soon because the Molly Maguires was a little bit of a downer. Spoilers, this isn't the happiest film. But I kind of want to watch Darby O'Gill and the Little People. I kind of want to. I want something fun. I'll take Zardoz. I will totally take Zardoz if we land on it, or maybe Highlander. I've never seen Highlander. I've never seen any of these films. I've seen The Hill, but yeah, I hope we get something fun. That's the main thing I
Oh.
have here. Is I want something fun. Of the ones that we've watched so far, what's been the most fun?
Oh,
I'd say First Night.
Yeah, I think between that and probably between that and Man Who Would Be King. Man Who Would Be King was super fun to me. But yeah, First Night's up there too, and
Sword of the Valiant.
yeah, we always come. That was the one we shit on the most, but we talk about that one the most.
Well, it was our longest episode. It must mean something. Let's watch it again.
I think we need to.
Let's hang out and do a commentary track of it.
I think we need to because
You wanna?
Yeah, I think we should. We're talking about that. We're like we should maybe at the when we get the halfway mark, start taking our. We talked about it behind the scenes, kind of like maybe doing a tier list episode of the movies.
I'm down for doing a tier list when we have more.
Yeah,
I think we should, because there's like approximately 74 or 75-ish. I think maybe we should wait till we have 25.
Yeah.
Because then we can actually make a tier list episode that is content worthy. Like it's sizable, and you go, oh, I've got my new 2 hours of Connery Curious to listen to, and they're ranking what they've done so far.
But I think commentary tracks for films we've already seen might be good. And like, let us know, listeners, like hit us up on Instagram. It seems like be the best way to contact us, and Twitter if you can find us.
Instagram and Twitter, and Gmail as well.
And
You'll
Gmail.
hear all those at the end.
Yeah, I'll give you guys a little advertisement at the end. But yeah, let us know, what do you guys want to hear, like a commentary track of, if anything. Our votes for Sword of Valiant so far, but I wouldn't mind doing like maybe some Bond commentary, maybe some other deals like that. But like, yeah, let us know.
I think we should only do a commentary on one we've watched already.
Yeah.
So that we can, it's already established with us. We know what's going to happen. Nothing's surprising, so we can talk over it and talk about the things we enjoyed as they happen.
Sure.
And in reference to people hitting us up, if we have somebody hitting us up on a movie that we've already done, maybe we'll cycle back around to it at some point. You know,
you never know.
If it's something that if somebody messages us and be like, "Hey, I am a huge Shalico fan, and I'm frankly offended that you only reached out afterwards." It's all right. Come back. We'll talk about Shalico again.
So, somebody out there wants to talk about Sword of the Valiant.
I hope so. Please reach out if you want to talk about Sword of the Valiant. And let's watch The Green Knight.
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
No, not yet. But but that we got to do because I want to see the comparison.
Yeah. It looks really good.
But all right, shall we spin?
All right, Shalico let's do it. Oh, it's so exciting. I'm sorry I delay it every week because I just don't like.
It's so exciting.
It's so exciting.
All right, ready?
All righty, here we go.
Time to spin the wheel of curiosity. The longest day.
The longest day. All right, let's see about the longest day.
We were two away from Never Say Never Again.
The Longest Day is a 1962 American epic war film based on Cornelius Ryan's 1959 nonfiction book of the same name about the D-Day landings at Normandy on June 6, 1944. Wow.
Oh, is this going to be our first black and white film?
I think so, yeah. Cast includes John Wayne, Kenneth Moore, Richard Todd, Robert Mitchum, Richard Burton, Steve Forrest, Sean Connery, Henry Fonda, Red Buttons, Peter Lawford, Eddie Albert, Jeffrey Hunter, Stuart Whitman, Tom Tyron, Rod Steiger, Leo Glenn, Gert Frobe, Goldfinger himself, Irina Demick as the One Woman, Bourville, a French actor and singer, Kurt Jurgens. Oh my God! So this has Sean Connery with Goldfinger and Stromberg.
My God.
Yeah, and Robert Wagner, number 2.
Wow.
Look at that.
That's gonna be cool. A John Wayne film with see how he's pretty low on the list for casting, so I'm hoping he's in a Private Flanagan. So hopefully we get a good amount of him in this. But
It's a huge cast. Oh my gosh.
yeah, look at the poster.
Oh, and Frank Finlay is in it as well, who was in the Molly Maguires as Captain Davies, the police captain.
Look at that.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, look at the poster. It looks like a roster for Mortal Kombat. Like all the different people on it.
Let me see.
It's like all the. Am I sharing my screen still?
Share your screen with me.
Not bad. Let me.
No, you could.
Like, look at that.
Oh my God, yeah. That's an awesome poster.
There's Sean right there. And,
Never so timely, never so great. See it during the 25th anniversary year of D-Day. Oh my God.
Well, there it is, man. I'm excited. Are you excited?
Wait, would that be at 1944? 25. That would be 69. So that was a re-release poster.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because this came out in 62. Awesome. I can't wait for this. This is going to be great. Shot in a docudrama style. Whoa. This is going to be awesome.
Do we know where it's available? Folks? Looks like I'm seeing it. It could be rented on Prime Video. It could. Yeah, so far on digital, looks like an Amazon Prime Video. You can buy the Blu-ray for a fan, or rent for $4. Or of course, we always suggest
I have a DVD copy here.
Yeah, we always suggest our local library. Of course, if you guys want to find movies there, it's so you can
support your local library.
That doesn't hurt to look for sure. We found a lot of good gems in there. The only one we had an issue with was the one Connery's barely in. Africa. No, we had to buy
Action of the Tiger.
We had to buy that, and he wasn't even in the freaking movie.
Yeah,
which we might give away give that away.
Yeah, we couldn't even rent it online. Yeah,
we had to buy the Blu-ray, so we might give that away and sign it.
Yeah, signed copy of Action of the Tiger, signed by Mario and Dylan from Connery Curious.
That'll heighten the value for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Resale value $16. Boosted it from 15.
12 galleons. Oh man. But anyways,
a sickle in my nut.
But yeah, this was fun, man. This was a good episode. It doesn't feel it for the people at home, but it's been a while since we got together to do this, so I'm excited to be back.
Yes, and I have nothing but good feelings about the direction of this podcast. Frankly, I have a feeling we're gonna go to fun places with this. We're gonna be talking to some interesting people. We're gonna be getting curious here with Sean Connery. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be. I've had a really fun journey thus far, man. And I got to be honest, while you were away, I missed the shit out of you. And it was a big dopamine loss.
Brother, I missed you too. Trust me. It was like, at one point, because we're at the, for people at home, during my honeymoon, I put pictures on social media. Maybe I'll share some online too. But we went to a James Bond.
Look at the beautiful pictures.
Yeah. We found, my best man found a James Bond museum. I got to sit in, like, there was actual cars used in the movie. I sat in Goldfinger's Rolls Royce, the actual Lotus Esprit that Roger Moore sat in the scene in Spy Who Loved Me.
Which ties into our next film, The Longest Day, because both of those are Gert Frobe and Kurt Jurgens.
True.
Boom, look at that.
Look at that. And a DB5 and stuff. But it was just funny because I would see, like, the Connery section and see, like, old posters of James Bond and of Connery's Bond. I was like, man, we should record an episode of Connery Curious in this. I was missing Dylan. I was like, man, I wish Dylan could be here to share this with me. We'll have to go.
I wish I could have.
We should go to Florida someday and visit this place. Honestly,
we'll write it off.
I want to experience this place with you because you'll love it. So
let's do it. I wish when I was out in LA, I had seen the Bond in Motion exhibit. Yeah, we should do that too.
They got cool. I'm sure they have cool shit there because that was the one thing. Yeah, there was obviously amazing cars they had in this place, but like. Yeah, I want to see some other stuff too, but
we should go to Sean's.
What's that?
Excuse me. We should go to Sean Connery's hometown and write it off.
Oh my God, yes.
do an episode there. We're getting really Connery curious.
Hell yeah, that'd be insane.
Find all the monuments to him.
Hell yeah.
Plaques. Sean Connery used this bath.
A Sean Connery tour. That'd be cool.
I'm still in it. Get out of here.
That's where he's been all these years. All right, man.
Well, Mario, this has been a blast. I'm happy we're back at it.
Yes.
And I got to be honest, for a while I was like, I can't watch the Molly Maguires yet. Can't watch it yet. Can't watch it yet. Can't watch it. And I wanted to so badly.
Yeah, part of me wanted to do it too. I almost like watched it like on the ride. We took a train down. I was kind of like, maybe I should just like watch it now. But I was like, I'll wait.
I wanted it to be fresh in my mind.
Yeah,
so I
that
could talk
too.
freely
Yeah.
about it. Now, out of Connery curiosity, are you watching any of these films outside of when we're talking about it? Because you never know what the wheel's gonna spin next. Like we could get another Bond film next episode, or we could get a first Bond film next episode. And because I'm uncertain, like, what if I want to go watch Thunderball? Can I? You know, like,
it's funny you say that because that almost happened because I forgot which streaming service had a bunch that they released. It's usually on Prime, but it was somewhere else.
Yeah, Prime owns them. Amazon owns them.
But I was looking at it and I was like, I think I can go for a Bond movie. And like I hovered over You Only Live Twice. And I was like, no, I can't. I said, I can't do it. So I watched Octopussy for the 11,000th time. But like, yeah, I was like, yeah, it's tough. So like, if I see Connery on TV, I'm like, I can't watch it. I can't.
Yeah.
It's just like, I gotta keep it fresh for this, and ready to go.
When the wheel says I can watch it.
Yeah, the wheel controls my life now.
Exactly.
I live and breathe by the Connery wheel.
It makes the world go around.
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't know if I want to watch Goldfinger. I want to watch From Russia with Love just to enjoy it, but I can't. I want to watch Last Crusade just to enjoy it, but I can't.
Well, yeah, I mean,
the only ones I can do are go back to the ones we've already watched.
I mean, that's the thing with the Bond films. I feel like we could just record that if we wanted to. We could record that right this second because we've seen them enough. But like,
all right, let's do it. Let's just start.
Let's do it. Okay, this is From Russia with Love.
Let's do it.
But no, that time will come. It's gonna be a very special time when we hit those movies for sure. And we hope you guys will join us for those amazing movies. We are enjoying the support. A lot of great people talking to us on Instagram and stuff, and it's been fantastic.
Some people want to reach out. I'm sorry, we've had some people reach out that want to join us for some of the Bond ones, and looking forward to that.
Yeah, and if you guys want to be a part of the conversation, contact us. You guys can if you don't want to be recorded, send us an email at connerycurious@gmail.com. Just like a question or like a comment
Always
or
happy
concern.
for feedback, or like Paul Lally did send us a message from beyond the grave.
Paul Lally.
He somehow communed with Sean Connery.
Mario
from Beyond the
and
Grave.
Dylan. And I love that. Like,
so good.
he's
So good.
so
Paul,
good.
Paul, reach out to us, man.
Yes.
Send us another message. Let us know that you'd like to be on an episode. We'd love to have you.
Something, man. We love it. But all right, man.
And yeah, and I'm looking forward to I've been enjoying seeing all these weird films because sometimes I get so in a box of like, I'm just going to watch Bond films, or I'm just going to watch like the Halloween series for the 40th time, or
yeah, now it's like I'm in the mood to watch Shalako or something.
Yeah.
It's like or widening our palette a little bit here. So
and learning a bit about film history too, because holy cow, learning about James Wong Howe, like what an amazing cinematographer. Good
Right.
Lord, I want to watch everything he's done now. And actually, if you read his story, it's very fascinating. Yeah, this has been a blast, Mario.
as always, man. So
I'm glad we're back at it.
me too, man. And guys listening at home, thank you for tuning in this week to Connery Curious. As always, I've been Mario Lima.
And I've been Dylan Titus. And remember, folks,
Stay curious.
Connery Curious.
You've been listening to Connery Curious, a Titus Compositions and Frigginers Media podcast. Follow us on social media for updates, memes, and clips. Find us on Twitter at CuriousPod007 and on Instagram at Connery Curious. You can also visit Titus Compositions at Titus Compositions to hear other podcasts and original music, watch music videos, or even pick up a great vinyl record. For more discussion and content about your favorite films, comics, games, and a network for all things nerdy, visit Friggin' Nerds Media on Twitter at Friggin' Nerds. You can rate, review, and share the podcast in-app, which helps us grow the show and reach the other curious Connerys out there. Thanks for spending time with us, and have a great day, but also, remember, stay curious.